Hi, for today's sketchbook walkthrough, I want to do something a little different. I want to talk about composition. But what I want to talk about in here is the idea of how we might arrange a page or how we might set up a page using text as one of the elements. So this one right here was me just being kind of overwhelmed by this kind of tsunami of information. And you can also see I used a stamp here for some of the background to kind of create a pattern. And what you're going to see over and over again in this sketchbook is kind of this layering. So there's a background, then there's some text, and then there's some images. So I did a wash of red. I used some screening and did a sponge to kind of give these little turquoise. I like that kind of jarring feel. And then I was just talking about the rain, right? Weather, just sort of my thoughts on the weather. I've got like little raindroppy looking things here. And then I am sick of all this rain. Another thing I really like is finding different ways to add text into a page. In this case, I had a handout that I had gotten, and so I cut that and then tinted it with some like a wash of color. But I took one of those little Dymo things that you can kind of turn the dial and stamp the letters out. And I did all of my text using that one letter at a time, which was a hoot. This here is just a little piece of something that I found off the ground. I just got back from a walk and I did the same thing today. I found some little weird metallic scrap. I'm always putting things in my pocket, and so they might show up in my sketchbook later. So what I had done on here is painted this page with red, used a stamp that I had that kind of resembles bricks, and done that. One thing I will notice when I look at people's work is oftentimes they just have a hodgepodge of a lot of things stuck down, and it's really easy to tie that together by pulling some kind of a unifying theme or drawing or lines over the top of it to kind of pull it all together. And what unifies this page is the hand, because if I take away the hand, I've just got like pieces kind of put here and there. And this one right here, this is a kind of a fun approach here. It looks great and it's really easy to do. So you just start with like a pencil line here, and then I cut the holes in between the pencil lines. I don't have to outline the entire letter. I just put like a framework of those and then try to keep it. The next thing that I have here is kind of an interesting page where I found this is a lot of fun for me to do too. And it may be that I just tear one page, tear this one a little bit longer, and then I've got kind of some steps here. And then you've got basically what this is like one image you're looking at, but also different kind of views of those images by pulling over one piece at a time. I really like this approach. It gives me some complexity, but then I also have to find ways to tie it together. And the ways I tied this together was in these like little kind of tendrils of gold paint. I used gold on the edge of each of these pages, and that gives it kind of some thematics. My colors may not exactly go together, but I did that, and then I used a lot of white on each one of these, like as a repetitive element, putting things together. And then this next page, and you can sort of see that it's a cut page. It's a horse. So I've got the front and the back of this, and then I was able to sort of paint or work on each little section one at a time. I think actually what I probably did on here was paint everything purple, everything blue, and everything green. And then I cut out from this page, I sketched out the horse I wanted to cut out. And my daughter was at the time taking, my youngest daughter was taking dressage lessons. And so that's why I have the horse in here. And then sort of just handled each one of these sections one at a time. Here's a picture of her. That's her senior picture. And then ethnographic group and case studies. And in this case, I have a spinner here. So a spinner is kind of a fun element. What I have in here is, oh, it looks like this one's come a little bit loose. What I have taken is this picture, cut out the eyes, and then I have included in the middle here, and it's kind of coming apart, but there's a circle, and I can spin this to see what other elements, it's still attached. Here's some dog eyes, which is hilarious. Let's see what I've got, this next one. Here are some creepy eyes. I think those were just large eyes. I just made everything fit and then kind of put them together. Here's some silver tape, just get me some sunglass looks. Here's some little bitty baby face eyes that can go on there. I do have a video on, and then Power of Ease. I do have a video on how to make this. It's called a spinner or a Volvelle. The Volvelle is the official word for it. But I'll link that video to the Volvelles up in the top here. So I hope that some of this was helpful. I hope you enjoyed this. I would like to do kind of some themes and breaking down the ideas of how we might set up our sketchbooks. Anyway, if you enjoyed this, hit like. Please make a comment. I would love to know what you think about how we can present sketchbooks, and I hope to see you next week.